Frozen is a 2013 American computer-animated musical fantasy film produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios and released by Walt Disney Pictures. The 53rd Disney animated feature film, it is inspired by Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale The Snow Queen. The film depicts a princess who sets off on a journey alongside an iceman, his reindeer, and a snowman to find her estranged sister, whose icy powers have inadvertently trapped their kingdom in eternal winter. Frozen underwent several story treatments before being commissioned in 2011 as a screenplay by Jennifer Lee, who co-directed with Chris Buck. The film features the voices of Kristen Bell, Idina Menzel, Jonathan Groff, Josh Gad, and Santino Fontana. Christophe Beck was hired to compose the film's orchestral score, while Robert Lopez and Kristen Anderson-Lopez wrote the songs. Frozen had its general theatrical release on November 27, 2013. It was praised for its visuals, screenplay, themes, music, and voice acting. Some film critics consider Frozen to be Disney's best animated film since the studio's Renaissance era. Frozen led the 86th Academy Awards season with 2 nominations, winning 2, and received numerous accolades. During its theatrical run, the film was a significant commercial success, earning $1.280 billion in worldwide box office revenue, overtaking Toy Story 3 to become the highest-grossing animated film of all time, and carried its position until it was overtaken by the remake of The Lion King in 2019. It also became the 5th highest-grossing film of all time and the highest-grossing film of 2013. By January 2015, the film became the best-selling Blu-ray disc in the United States, which resulted in the film launching a franchise, including an animated short in 2015, an animated featurette in 2017, and a feature-length sequel, Frozen 2, in November 2019. Princess Elsa of Arendelle possesses magical powers that allow her to control and create ice and snow, often using them to play with her younger sister, Anna. After Elsa accidentally injures Anna with her magic, their parents, the King and Queen, take both siblings to a colony of trolls led by Grandpappy. He heals Anna but alters her memories so that she forgets about Elsa's magic. Grandpappy warns Elsa that she must learn to control her powers and that fear will be her greatest enemy. The King and Queen isolate both sisters within the castle, closing the castle gates to their subjects. To protect her sister from her increasingly unpredictable powers, Elsa ceases all contact with Anna, creating a rift between them. When the sisters are adults, their parents are killed at sea during a storm. During her 21st birthday, Elsa is to be crowned Queen of Arendelle. She is afraid that the kingdom's citizens might find out about her powers and fear her. The castle gates open to the public and visiting dignitaries for the first time in years. Among them are the scheming Duke of Weselton and the handsome Prince Hans of the Southern Isles, with whom Anna falls in love at first sight. Elsa's coronation takes place without incident, but she remains distant from Anna. Anna and Hans develop a romantic connection during the coronation festivities, and he impulsively proposes to her, but Elsa objects when they seek her blessing. Hurt and confused, Anna protests, begging Elsa to explain her fear and isolation. The emotional strain causes Elsa to accidentally unleash her powers before the court. Branded a monster by the Duke, Elsa flees to the North Mountain, where she finally acknowledges her powers, building an ice palace to live a hermit life. In the process, her magic unintentionally engulfs Arendelle in an eternal winter. Anna ventures out to find Elsa and end the winter, leaving Hans in command. She gets lost, collecting supplies at Wandering Oakant's shop. She meets an iceman named Christophe and his reindeer, Sven, convincing them to take her to the mountains. An attack by wolves leads to Christophe's sleigh being destroyed. When Anna's horse returns to Arendelle without her, Hans sets out to find Anna and Elsa, accompanied by the Duke's minions, who have secret orders to kill Elsa. Reaching the Ice Palace, Anna meets Elsa. When Anna reveals what has become of Arendelle, a horrified Elsa confesses she does not know how to undo her magic. Her fear causes her powers to manifest themselves once more, and she accidentally freezes Anna's heart, seriously injuring her. In desperation to keep Anna safe, Elsa creates a giant snow monster named Marshmallow, who chases Anna and Christophe away. Realizing the effects of Elsa's spell on Anna, Christophe takes her to the Trolls, his adoptive family. Grandpappy reveals that Anna will freeze solid unless an act of true love reverses the spell. Christophe races Anna back home so Hans can give her true love's kiss. Hans and his men reach Elsa's palace, defeating Marshmallow, who falls into a chasm and capturing Elsa. Anna is delivered to Hans, but rather than kissing her, Hans instead reveals that he has actually been plotting to seize the throne of Arendelle by eliminating both sisters. Hans locks a heartbroken Anna in a room to die and then manipulates the dignitaries into believing that Elsa killed her, but not before they were married. He orders the Queen's execution, only to discover she has escaped her detention cell. Anna is freed by Olaf, her childhood talking snowman companion, and they venture into the blizzard outside to meet Christophe, who Olaf has revealed is in love with her. Hans confronts Elsa outside, claiming that she killed Anna, causing Elsa to break down and abruptly stop the storm. Anna spots Hans about to kill Elsa. She leaps in the way and freezes solid, stopping Hans. Devastated, Elsa hugs and mourns over her sister, who thaws out, her heroism constituting an act of true love. Realizing that love is the key to controlling her magic, Elsa ends the winter. Hans is arrested and exiled from the kingdom for his treason and attempted assassination, while the Duke's trade links with Arendelle are cut off. Anna gives Christophe a new sleigh and the two kiss. The sisters are reunited, and Elsa promises never to lock the castle gates again. In a post-credit scene, Marshmallow, having survived the fall, finds Elsa's discarded crown and places it on top of its head. The development of Frozen began in March 1940, when Walt Disney suggested a co-production to film producer Samuel Goldwyn, where his studio would shoot the live-action sequences of Hans Christian Andersen's life and Disney's studio would animate Andersen's fairy tales. The animated sequences would be based on some of Andersen's best-known works, such as The Little Mermaid, The Little Match Girl, The Steadfast Tin Soldier, The Snow Queen, Thumbelina, The Ugly Duckling, The Red Shoes, and The Emperor's New Clothes. However, the studio encountered difficulty with The Snow Queen, as it could not find a way to adapt and relate the Snow Queen character to modern audiences. After the United States entered World War II, Disney focused on making wartime propaganda, which caused development on the Disney Goldwyn project to grind to a halt in 1942. Goldwyn went on to produce his own live-action film version in 1952, entitled Hans Christian Andersen, with Danny Kaye as Andersen, Charles Vidier directing, Moss Hart writing, and Frank Lasser penning the songs. All of Andersen's fairy tales were, instead, told in song and ballet in live action, like the rest of the film. It went on to receive 6 Academy Award nominations the following year. Back at Disney, The Snow Queen, along with other Andersen fairy tales, including The Little Mermaid, were shelved. Hans Christian Andersen's original version of The Snow Queen is a pretty dark tale and it doesn't translate easily into a film. For us, the breakthrough came when we tried to give really human qualities to the Snow Queen. When we decided to make the Snow Queen Elsa and our protagonist Anna sisters, that gave a way to relate to the characters in a way that conveyed what each was going through and that would relate for today's audiences. This film has a lot of complicated characters and complicated relationships in it. There are times when Elsa does villainous things, but because you understand where it comes from this desire to defend herself, you can always relate to her. Inspired by means exactly that. There is snow and there is ice and there is a queen, but other than that, we depart from it quite a bit. We do try to bring scope and the scale that you would expect, but do it in a way that we can understand the characters and relate to them. Producer Peter Del Vecchio, on the difficulties adapting The Snow Queen.